What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs bringing you the Week 18 first look for the main slate. So we do have a couple games on Saturday, but we do have a beautiful 13-game slate where, there's going to be questions of who's starting and who's not that we'll find out later this week. But we'll just get into what we know so far. So Josh Allen will not be playing. It should be Trubisky. Jane Daniels, I would imagine Washington sits starters as well. I don't believe they can really move in their playoff spot right now. Philly will not be playing starters. Tampa will be playing starters, and they have a home matchup against New Orleans. So Baker Mayfield in another great spot. He's just been producing some fantasy dimes this season. Just put out a lot of good fantasy games this year. Definitely been a contribution to some of my DFS lines this season and won me some money, so I love that. Patrick Mahomes not to play in that one, but Bo Nix is on the other side. He will be playing against Kansas City's second team, basically, at 6,400. That is a must-win game for Denver, so Bo Nix also in a really good spot. Check the injury status of Purdy. Kind of got banged up. I believe he went back in the game at the very end there. Or no, it was just Dobbs. Dobbs got the rushing touchdown. I don't know what I'm talking about. Purdy did not go back in. It was just Dobbs. Because, he got that rushing touchdown. Jordan Love, I would imagine the Packers don't play starters in this one. Kyler Murray will be playing against San Fran. Not really interested in that one. I think D'Amico Ryan said starters are playing, if I'm not mistaken. So you get C.J. Stroud 6K against Tennessee. Now, without both Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. So kind of rough one there. We check the injury status of Anthony Richardson. It is a good matchup for Richardson or Flacco, who's somehow $500 cheaper. But it's a good matchup for any quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, I would imagine the Chargers rest as well, because I don't think they can really move. They might play, but I would imagine they sit. But we'll see what that one looks like. Tua will be playing. Health-wise, if he's healthy, he will be playing. They have to win to have to get in the playoffs. They have to have Denver lose. So, Miami, if Tua's in with how bad the Jets have been, it's not the worst thing in the world. He just has struggled against the Jets. For the most part, he struggled against the Jets in his career. Bryce Young, 5,800 on the road against Atlanta. Bryce Young is just... he's not putting up some killer performances, but since returning as starter, he's put up a lot better performances than we saw. So kind of like that one. Bryce Young at 5,800. Drake May at 5,700 playing against, Buffalo second stringers there. Matt Stafford, this is another question mark. We probably won't find out. I would imagine they don't play starters. With the injuries that Puka and Kupp had this season. Stafford been a guy that's been banged up a lot the last couple years for the Rams. I imagine they don't play starters. Caleb Williams will be starting against Green Bay. I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers starts in this one, if we're being honest, against Miami. So now I guess we're getting into some of the other backups and stuff. Carson Wentz is 56 against Denver. Just no, not against Denver. Denver defense, sorry. Geno Smith with nothing to lose against the Rams. I love that one at 5,500. Trubisky against the Patriots, not really interested in that. More interested in the run game there. Would check the injury status of Kenny Pickett as well, because Kenny Pickett went out and they went McCree, I believe was the third string that got in. Michael Penix at 5,400 against Carolina. This one seems really, really, really good now. Last week, you saw it against Washington in that overtime game. Kind of an underperformer, but Bijan had a crazy good game. Michael Penix didn't if Bijan didn't have as good of a game, I don't think that game's as close. Joe Flacco, if he is the starter at 5,400 against Jacksonville, I mentioned that's a good one as well. Marcus Mariota, if he's a starter against Dallas, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Just getting the second string in. Obviously, the rushing upside is there for Marcus Mariota as well. Mac Jones at 5,200. For the price point he's been at, he's kind of paid off in some of these games, right? You've seen him get 20, and 17 in 3 out of these 5 games. So he's definitely paid off more than 3 times value, 3.5 in those games. So Mac Jones is somebody that's paid off. Continue to go down, sorry. Cooper Rush, maybe against Washington, but there's no CeeDee Lamb now, too. I mean, you have Jalen Tolbert, Turpin. You still have all those guys that are going to be playing, but I just don't know. I don't trust it. I just don't. So now we're starting to get in some of the backups and lower end starters. Jimmy Garoppolo would be it at 5,200. Not against Seattle. I'm just going to be honest, not against Seattle. Malik Willis against Chicago's defense, no. Drew Lock against Philly's defense, I mean, maybe, right? If we know they're sitting their starters. I mean, he just had a game. That was the Drew Lock I've been waiting for this entire time. He's gotten an opportunity in New York, and he does it to lose them a really good draft pick. Aiden O'Connell against the Chargers. I mean, for the price point, I don't mind it, right? I imagine Chargers sit some players, so I don't mind that one. Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, they already said they're splitting snaps. McKee would then be the next guy up against the Giants at 5K. He's not as cheap as I'd like him to be. Taylor Heineke would fit in versus Vegas. I don't mind Taylor Heineke in that one. If 2 is out, Huntley is 4,800, so I don't hate that one as well. There's update on, I was going to say, there shouldn't be an update on Trey Lance. I wish Dallas would give Trey Lance a shot already. It makes no sense of why they're not. Continue to go down. So just looking at it, I don't think we're gonna have anybody down here. I think they priced up everybody that would be a starter. Yeah. They priced up everybody. So I mean, for the cheapest starter, like Huntley, maybe if 2 is out, but Spencer Rattler at 4,800, maybe. Taylor Heineke, like if we're looking at guys that I'm actually looking at, Michael Penix at 5,400, he kind of stands out to me right now as one of the better plays that is going to be starting. So that's one to look at. Moving on to running backs, Saquon. I can't imagine he's playing. Like, I know he's got the record, but like, at what point do you risk it? So I don't know about that one. Bijan in a great spot against Carolina. We saw him earlier in the season, week 6, 25 DraftKings points, was 5 yards away from the bonus. So pretty close to a 30-point performance basically out of that one. Jonathan Taylor, 8,200 at home against Jacksonville. Love that one. Josh Jacobs. I can't imagine Josh Jacobs plays against Chicago. Bucky Irving priced up to 7,700 now. I mean, Bucky pays off, but he's getting up there. He jumped up $1,000, so I don't know if I love Bucky Irving at that price point anymore. It's a great matchup, but he's getting really, really high up there to where you're not getting guaranteed value basically anymore. I don't know if Kyron plays in that one. This is what's tough about going over this, is not knowing on Tuesday who is going to be playing and who's not. I don't know if Joe Mixon plays, if I trust him against Tennessee. HN against the Jets. That's a good one there for me. I would imagine James Cook sits as well, so we get some backups there. Zach Charbonnet 6,700 against the Rams. I like that one honestly. Breece Hall against Miami. Not really interested there. Tajay Spears went out, so it was Chestnut got the carries after that, I believe. Brian Robinson Jr. imagine doesn't play. Guerrero at 5,900, I think is in a good spot there. Definitely priced pretty damn well. Rico Dowdle at 5,800 also stands out. That's a good one. He's going to get the ball a lot against Washington defense. That's more than likely missing starters. Continue to go down. Kenneth Gainwell 5,600 against the Giants. I would imagine he is the next guy up. They might lower his volume, but I would imagine he still gets carries in that one. If Kyron's out, Blake Corum at 5,600. I don't hate that against Seattle. It's not the best, but I still don't hate it. Did I miss? No. So we didn't miss him. But they still have Stevenson priced above Antonio Gibson. So Antonio Gibson, 5,300 against Buffalo seems pretty damn good. Granted, last week against the Chargers, still 5.3 yards per carry, but nothing in the receiving work. Ramondre, it was pretty clear when they said, hey, Gibson's the starter. Gibson was the starter. So, crazy that Gibson is cheaper. Gibson's at a great price point there. DeAndre Swift at 5,400. That one's a pretty good price tag for him. Continue to go down here. Ray Davis would be 52. I imagine he's the next guy up for Buffalo. Just see where they have prices. So Ty Johnson at 5K, Ray Davis at 5,200. So that's for the Buffalo running backs. Would check the Arizona running back statuses. Trey Benson, I believe, didn't play. James Conner was banged up. Their running back room is odd with injuries right now, so I would check that and see where it ends up. Could have some really good plays out of that. I imagine Christian Rodriguez at 5K is the next guy. It might be McNichols as well. Get some carries in there, but I would imagine Rodriguez gets snapped. So at 5K against Dallas, he's in a pretty good spot. Blackshear at 5K against Atlanta. That one's kind of tougher. Continue to go down, see what we got. Michael Carter, if both Connor and Benson are out, he got the majority of carries. 10 points at his price point, which is what the Stoneman 4,100. So that wasn't bad out of him. I mentioned, there's McNichols at 4,600. Would watch that to see who they play. Believe that's kind of it. I don't think there's going to be much more names as of right now. Wide receiver, Mike Evans in a great spot against New Orleans that doesn't have Marshawn Lattimore. So there's no Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore in New Orleans anymore. It's against Washington now that happens. So he's in a really good matchup there. Brian Thomas Jr. just continues to put up fantasy numbers. Just continues. The last 3 games, 35, 31, 23. But, since Mac Jones has been the quarterback, Brian Thomas Jr. is getting targets. He's gotten 10-plus targets every game with Mac Jones. Touchdown upside. Hard not to play him, right? It's really hard not to play him. Malik Neighbors against Philly. I don't hate that one. Not really interested in Adams. McConkey, McLaurin, both probably not playing. Tyreek Hill without Tua. He got one of his better fantasy games this season with Huntley at quarterback, but against the Jets, Jets are they're bought out, right? They're done for the season. But I still don't know if I trust that. Drake London 6,500 against Carolina. Love that one as well. Adam Thielen on the other side, 6,200. I don't mind that one either. Keenan Allen priced up to 6K against Green Bay. We'll look at it, but Possibly DJ Moore, Roma Dunze based off their price points there against backups. Continue to go down. Juwan Jennings, 5,800 against Arizona. I like that one. Jacoby Myers price pretty good. I mean, he's been a 5K receiver all season pretty much, it seems like. So 5,700 against, the Chargers, probably backups as well. DK Metcalf at 5,600. You get him pretty damn cheap. Where was JSN? I moved past JSN. He's 6,100. So that's a really good one for JSN and DK Metcalf. Not priced ridiculously high. Calvin Ridley down to 5,400. You get Josh Downs, Michael Pittman at 53 and 5,200. Josh Downs, I mean, what a stinker with Joe Flacco. I mean, Michael Pittman had, the best game he's had all season? By far, I think. By far. Best game he's had all season. 9 for 109 and a touchdown. So, if you're like me and picked Downs over Pittman and Pierce, it was not as good of a slate as others. But both of them in really good matchups, though, nonetheless. Darnell Mooney, McMillan, both those guys in really good matchups as well, priced at the same price point. Roma Dunze, 4,900, so that's a more interesting one there for me. Brandon Cooks at 4,700 against Washington. That's a pretty good matchup there. Pretty cheap. Marvin Mims had a really good game at 4,600. And Zacchaeus, the last two games. This man, yeah. 23 and 24 points. That's crazy. Westbrook Akine at 4,400. Always have to mention him for the touchdown upside. Demario Douglas, 4,300. Jalen Tolbert been getting fed kind of lately. 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games for him. Continue to go down. Maybe Xavier Legette, but I'd probably go Coker over Legette for $100 cheaper. Boute's got to be worth mentioning against Buffalo as well. I think it's a see what we got type of game for New England pass catchers. Continue to go down. MVS at 4K against Tampa isn't the worst. Man, this is just, it's ugly. I don't even know. So, Darius Slayton at 3,600. Trying to think of some guys that would fit in. Turpin, 3,400. But yeah, we need some more information on who's going to play and who's not before you get to values, because you're trying to figure out what starters are playing. Brock Bowers, I don't hate it against the Chargers, especially if their starters are going to be out. McBride against San Fran, not really in love with that one. Kittle against Arizona, if Purdy's in, yes. Juwanna Smith against the Jets, man. It's hard to not want to play Juanu for the consistency, but, I mean, he got priced up pretty damn fast, right? He had 3 really good games, jumped above 5K, and then really hasn't, paid off against Houston, but the other haven't really paid off. He's just priced pretty damn high for me. Not going to see Kelsey. Hunter Henry at 4,300, I don't mind that one. If Cade Otton is out, we're going to get our boy Durham at 3,200. Kyle Pitts 4K against Carolina. That's a really good matchup for him. Jake Ferguson 3,900 against Washington. That's a really good matchup for him. I like that one. Chig, since Mason Rudolph has gotten in, Chig has been getting used, finally. I've been waiting for this all season. I was in best ball, so invested in Chig in one of the last picks I got, and he has not done anything except for the weeks where I don't need him. He's definitely gotten more targets with Rudolph, but don't know how many snaps Rudolph's going to get compared to Will Levis in that one. Keep going down. Noah Font in a really good matchup against the Rams at 3,700. Juwan Johnson at 36. Foster Moreau at 32. So both those guys were targeting. Brenton Strange at 3,500 against Indy. That's a really good matchup for him. He's kind of one of those plays I'm looking at. Other than that, Stone Smart, I imagine Stone Smart kind of gets the bulk of the work at tight end for the Chargers. They could run out all tight ends. I don't think anyone really stands out more than the other one. But that would kind of be it for me. Maybe Luke Musgrave against Chicago if Tucker Kraft is sitting. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, that's kind of it. The defenses, I won't even go over the defenses because I don't know what starters are playing right now. That's all it comes down to. Because as of right now, like going down, if the Packers sit, the Bears defense stands out against Malik Willis. The Giants stand out against Phillies, backups. Cowboys defense stands out against Washington's backups. So yeah, until we know for sure what starters are playing and aren't, it's kind of where we're at with the slate. So check back in on Thursday. We should have most of the information by then. We should have most of the information by today, figuring out who's going to be starting and not. So check back in then, and I will see you guys in the next one.